Welcome back to the Ross Bolen podcast, presented by Bolen Media. I am Ross Bolen, joined today by producer Kade Orris. Kade, how are you?
Doing all right. Got my parents coming in this weekend, so get to show them around Austin for the first time.
Going to the UT game.
Going to the UT game, playing Kansas. So
yeah.
It should be a nice little ass whooping there, I think.
That'll be a murder.
Yeah. But other than that, no idea what I'm going to do with them, so this will be a fun thing to deal with later.
I feel like you just take them downtown and wander.
They said they want to just do what I do, but I just
they don't want to do what you do.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just I go out and just get drunk every weekend, so I don't know if you really want to do that, but I'll probably take them to some low key bars and we can watch football or whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, maybe don't take them to a bachelorette party though.
Yeah, no, probably not a good idea. See me in my other element.
Yeah, in your other outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good move. But Kade, I've got some bad news.
Uh-oh, what is it?
You remember Fat Bear Week?
I do remember it, yes.
For those of you who don't, it's a great time of year. Fat Bear Week is a celebration of success and survival that we partake in every year here on the Ross Bolen podcast. It is a way to celebrate the resilience, adaptability, and strength of Katmai's brown bears. Bears are matched up against each other in a March Madness-style competition, and online visitors can vote on who is ultimately crowned the Fat Bear Week champion. Over the course of the week, virtual visitors learn more about the lives and histories of individual bears while also gaining a greater understanding of Katmai's ecosystem through a series of live events hosted on explore.org. It says also, join us this Fat Bear Week and vote daily at fatbearweek.org. So Katmai National Park is where Fat Bear Week is hosted. And it's you could think of it as the March Madness of hibernation, right? Because the bears are beefing up
for their long sleep.
The long sleep, yeah. And they document them, and you get pictures of all the bears every week, and you vote which fat bear is your favorite fat bear, basically. It's awesome. I love it. We talk about it every year. Well, the National Park Service is warning that it will close most U.S. national parks if Congress fails to come to an agreement to avoid a government shutdown this weekend, which you may have heard about. And a popular social media campaign celebrating fat bears will also be canceled, it says, from CNN. A government shutdown could also halt the agency's beloved social media postings, including one of the agency's most anticipated and delightful events of the year, Fat Bear Week, which is, as we speak, set to begin on Wednesday, the first week of October, okay? The annual tournament, it says, highlights bears at Katmai National Park in Alaska preparing for the winter season, with the public voting on the fattest bear. A senior official said, quote, "The bears will continue to get fat. We will not be able to report on their progress in that regard. All of our websites will be unavailable during any period of lapse, and that is another unfortunate consequence of the shutdown. Fat Bear Week is one of the most popular programs from the NPS, National Park Service, every year." It says, quote, "The bears are essential. Unfortunately, the folks monitoring the website aren't exempted from appropriations." So, first, I guess to get into the larger conversation, Kade, do you know or understand why a government shutdown happens?
Kind of, but I couldn't give you a good answer. I do know we've had one, I think it was when Obama was in office. That was the last one, maybe?
I feel like we've had 3 of these in the past decade.
Yeah.
It's pretty frequently that this
How long
occurs.
do they usually last?
I want to say not that, less not as long as the writer's strike just went on. I feel like it's a couple weeks or a month. One of them dragged on for a while, though. One of the ones that I might have been the one you're referencing during the Obama's presidency or whatever, but I don't really understand it either. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I do. But according to Wikipedia, a government shutdown occurs when the legislative branch does not pass key bills which fund or authorize the operations of the executive branch, resulting in the cessation of some or all operations of a government. And it is my understanding that this is on the federal level. So our state governments continue to operate. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Because if all government just ceased to exist for a period of time, we'd be in deep shit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Would the cops work? Would we all just be out, would
just be total anarchy out there.
Purging?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. So, anyway, I would argue, every time this happens, I'm there are some slight annoyances, federal government websites going down is always a huge part of the problem. And I even remember in one of the government shutdowns that dragged on, everybody started getting a ton of spam phone calls again because the government organization, like the do not call list website thing, was down too. So just everyone was susceptible to spam attacks again for an extended period of time, and that was hell. I still haven't recovered from it. I'm still getting like 15 calls a day from spam numbers, and I love the one nice upgrade that we've had is it now warns you. It'll say like spam call.
Yeah, might be
suspected spam or whatever. Not that I'm answering random numbers I don't have saved in my phone anyway. But and also just to further comment on that, I get voicemails a lot from these spam calls, and I'll go click on the voicemail just to make sure that it's not like something important, you know, like a warrant for my arrest. And a lot of the time it'll be like that high-pitched, you know, old school dial-up modem noise that plays. It's like, and I'm at the point now where I'm getting suspicious or paranoid, if you will, that there's some kind of like Chinese mind control game being played here.
Trying to like hypnotize you?
Yeah, like it's like playing a noise and like somehow infiltrating my brain.
You're going to become a sleeper agent.
I think that might be a real thing inside of my mind anyway. But yeah, look, outside of the possible, you know, spam call influx, losing Fat Bear Week would be devastating. This is like one of those things, you know, that I mark on the calendar every year, not only to talk about on the show and turn into content, but to personally follow and celebrate. And it, you know, up there with like Thanksgiving and Christmas, the Super Bowl, March Madness, the
Fat Bear Week is up there.
Yeah, it's up there with the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball playoffs, all that good stuff. And frankly, this year, with the amount of stress being induced by the Houston Astros' current situation in Major League Baseball, where like every game right now through Sunday basically determines whether or not our season is completely destroyed or if we make the postseason, I was looking forward to like that, you know, light entertainment.
Yeah, lift your spirits a little bit.
In the form of fat bears that now may not occur because our fucking government can't keep it together for more than a couple of years without going through another shutdown.
Yeah, it does seem to like happen every few years. It's kind of like the writer's strike. They just like have to go back and go to the table and get
rehash
that funding.
all the shit. Yeah, stoked that the writer's strike is over, by the way. We talked about that a lot on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our TV and film podcast here at Bolen Media this week. And it was like 140 plus days that went on. Now, the other side of it, the actors' strike, SAG-AFTRA, is still occurring, but they are going to meet starting Monday of next week, I guess when Fat Bear Week would have started. And the odds are that strike will also end by the conclusion of next week. So we're in a good spot there. That'll be good. We're kind of screwed the rest of 2024 still, or 2023, excuse me. As far as like new TV shows and movies go, like they're not going to be like, all right, never mind, Dune is back on, part 2, December. That's not going to happen. But at least this won't be like, the drought won't be extended even further into 2024. Because that was my big concern. Like we've been struggling the past couple of months.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
On OCC to figure out like what to watch next, what should we cover. Nobody is really as plugged into like new TV shows as they normally would be. And I was scared that was going to drag on into next year and create a nightmare work situation for me. So I'm glad that's not happening. And shout out to the Writers Guild for getting it done. And I think they achieved like the strong majority of their goals in terms of the negotiations.
Yeah, so, no AI really.
No AI that isn't like signed off on. But so the studios can't use AI basically.
Yeah.
But the writers are allowed to, if the company they are working for permits it, which that part is still weird to me. Like they're allowed to like utilize AI in their writing in some cases, which feels like a cheat code.
Well, but yeah, you could just like tell it to write a basic script for you, and then
That's
you can like go
yeah.
in there and change whatever you want.
Yeah, I really don't know how I feel about that. It seems like a slippery slope, but I'm sure somebody that's actually in the WAG or the WGA, Writers Guild of America, could better explain it than I can. Anyway, that's not our concern. Our concern is Fat Bear Week. And I'm just begging our idiot government, for the love of God, get something done here. Don't take this from us, man.
Save these fat bears.
Please. Please. They're going to be getting fat without us.
Yeah, I love how the dude said the bears will continue to get fat. Like
the bears were going to join the shutdown?
Yeah, nope, sorry, we're not eating anymore. We stand with the government or whatever.
Hibernation is off this year. We're going to stay out in the cold and freeze our asses off. Yeah, no, they're still going to plump up.
Mm-hmm.
We just won't get to witness it like we normally do. So
very sad.
Very unfair. This year, I've been focused on taking my workout routine to new, more effective heights, and FitBod has allowed me to really accomplish that goal and get in significantly better shape. Basically, I've been doing the opposite of what the Bears do during Fat Bear Week all of 2023 thanks to FitBod. Whatever your fitness level is or what your goals are, FitBod builds a dynamic workout plan just for you and optimizes future workouts based on your personal progress. Today's episode is clearly brought to you by FitBod. And personally, with a baby and a 4-year-old at my house, I don't have time to plan my own workouts or make sure I have enough different workouts and variations to keep my body guessing or to keep track of my own workouts. And that's where FitBod comes in and accomplishes all those things. It learns from your previous workouts and adapts as you improve. So you can start making progress toward your fitness journey goals today with 25% off a FitBod subscription using our special URL, which you will hear in a moment. Just pick a fitness goal, select your equipment, and FitBod will create a custom workout program for you. So like I have X amount of gear and workout equipment available in my garage. I tell FitBod, here's what I've got, and then it builds me a workout using that specific equipment so that I can actually do all of the things it's asking me to do. It's awesome. Whether you've been missing gym time or hit a plateau, FitBod will build a workout plan individualized to you. The app switches up your exercises to avoid overtraining or burnout while keeping your workouts fresh and fun. Your program also changes based on your personal progress for maximized results. Whether you work out in the weight room or your living room or the garage like me, FitBod has you covered. And if you're like, I don't know how to do the stuff, that's why I need like a personal trainer to help show me, like, here's how you do this lift or whatever. Nonsense, poopy pants. You can learn movements the right way with FitBod because they have over 1,400 HD demonstration videos. So every time it tells you, like, here's the lift you're going to do, there's a video right next to it you can click on and watch. It's awesome, and a full year of FitBod is less than the cost of a single session with a personal trainer. I've been using FitBod for every single one of my workouts over the past several months. It is legitimately awesome, and before I started using it, I did the exact same workouts every time I worked out for really over 2 years, and that shit was not doing anything for my body anymore. FitBod is the future. It has everything you wish those other apps had. Wherever you are in your fitness journey, get the most out of every workout with FitBod. Get 25% off your subscription at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/ROSS. Fitbod.me/Ross for 25% off your FitBod subscription. All right, I've got some insane headlines of the day for us today. The first one is New Zealand couple receives $1,400 refund after being seated next to a farting dog on flight.
Just more plain talk.
I can't stop, kid. I'm addicted to stories about terrible airline travel. From TMZ, Singapore Airlines is getting the gas face from a couple of pissed passengers who say a four-legged traveler's flatulence blew them out. All the way from Paris to Singapore. You got to hand it to TMZ. They don't participate in what I would describe as journalism, but they add a lot of color to their stories. Wordplay, puns, jokes, and such. They overdo the hell out of it. It says, Gill and Warren Press say they ended up seated next to a dog and its owner during the 13-hour trek back in June. So a 13-hour flight. All right, it says, it's a cute enough dog to look at, but the presses say that the pooch bombed on them for the whole flight, farting so badly they eventually surrendered their premium seats and moved back to economy. My God. These poor people. They had to move from first class back to the poor section of the plane.
With all the peasants.
The commoners back there.
Ew.
Just because of this. First, also, shout out to this dog owner that was like, you know what? I'm taking the pooch first class.
Yeah.
We're going to sit up front.
Going to ball out.
Yeah. And then he just, I guess, probably balled out a little too hard, had too many treats, and just was farting all over the fucking flight. But it says the couple says the gas was only half the battle because they also had to contend with the pup, which looks like a bulldog mix, loudly snorting. Not snoring.
Snorting.
Snorting. And if you've ever been around a bulldog mix, you know they can do some snoring and some snorting.
Yeah,
They're loud.
Can't breathe too well.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Loud breathers as a result of extreme overbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
It also continues to say they were determined to get something for their troubles, this couple, and they told Insider they went through several months of negotiations with Singapore Airlines before getting a $1,410 refund. Question. Let's say you go through this. You're on a flight, you're first class, you're balling out from, what was it, Singapore to...
Paris to Singapore.
Paris to Singapore. You get seated next to a dog, all hell breaks loose. It's a miserable experience. You end up moving back to economy and presumably avoiding the rest of the miserable, the farting continuing. Do you go through a multi-month process to achieve a $1,410 refund?
Probably not.
Several months of negotiations.
And it makes me feel like the airline was like just sick of their shit, and they're like, fine, we'll give you the money, because it doesn't seem like something that you should get a refund for.
I mean, they really held out, Singapore Airlines. I would have quit long before achieving the refund. I just would have said fuck it and never flown Singapore Airlines again. But there probably should be a way to know in advance, like you're going to be seated next to a dog,
Yeah.
Like some kind of a warning.
That and babies, I feel like they need to have like a warning if you're going to have a dog or a baby on the flight.
The babies thing is tough, because that's like, what do you... I mean, maybe you're right, because some people definitely would rather not take a flight than take a flight next to a baby.
Yeah.
We probably end up with like some kind of a section in the plane that's just the people with babies.
Yeah.
And they're just all suicidal by the end of the flight.
Yeah, that's what they just need,
that.
like a section for babies and a section for dogs that fart on a 13-hour flight.
Have flight flatulence.
Yeah.
They should have used that as part of this TMZ wordplay article. Flight
Dropping
flatulence. Got to have that in the headline next time, TMZ. Get on it. It says the presses, the couple, they plan to donate the $1,410 to a guide dog organization in their native New Zealand. So several months of negotiations to get this refund, and now they're going to donate it to a guide dog org. It's not even like one for, what kind of dog is this thing?
Bulldog.
Not even for bulldogs that can't breathe good. That's what I would have donated to. It says, as for their future travels, they'd just appreciate a heads up if they're seated next to an animal. Gil said, I expect to see a baby. I expect young children, but I don't expect a dog.
Has he been to an airport?
I guess not. Nobody ever told Gil to expect the unexpected either.
There's always dogs at the airport. Like, what
they
is he
really
talking
are,
about?
especially the Austin airport.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere. But it really... Every airport I've been to in the last several years, it feels like this has become a more and more common occurrence. I also always see the bomb sniffing dogs now, which is never fails to be hysterical to me, because they're wearing those vests that say like "Do not pet."
Yeah,
and I know I want to pet it so bad,
right?
But I also don't want it to tackle me and take me out,
and like bite your arm off. Yeah,
take me to the back to get cavity searched.
Don't want that, or maybe you do. I don't know.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Not me, though. It's not for me. That's okay. It's okay. No judgment. It's just not for me. It says, gotta wonder what Singapore Airlines would pay if it were a gassy human. We've all had those flights.
I've actually never had
I haven't either.
So, I don't.
I'd be deeply
We are
upsetting.
just like on different airports, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe we just don't fly enough. It's probably part of the problem.
True.
Anyway, shout out to the... What name of the family?
Just
the Presses.
The Presses.
Last name Press. Gil and Warren Press. And their donation. Good for them. Good for all of us, Cade. Next headline. Former Goldman Sachs employee charged with insider trading through Xbox chat service. This is fascinating to me. Stories from Bloomberg. It's been covered in a variety of different sources at this point, though. Federal prosecutors charged a former employee at Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated and Blackstone Incorporated with securities fraud for allegedly tipping his friends to more than a half a dozen deals. Anthony Vigiano, a former Goldman Sachs financial analyst, has been charged by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, known as the SEC, for conducting insider trading using Microsoft Xbox audio chat service, which is frankly kind of genius. And if you're like, well, how the hell did he get caught? because that's not traceable. Like, there's no recording of the, you go into a Call of Duty game, then that whole thing isn't like saved on a server somewhere.
Right.
If it was, everyone that was a teenager in the past 20 years would be in jail. But the answer is that one of his boys got caught and then ratted his ass out. Yeah.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah. It says the SEC alleges that Viggiano misused his access to confidential information to enrich himself and his friends. The insider trading scheme involved Viggiano sharing insider secrets about upcoming deals, generating over $400,000 in illicit gains for himself and his squad that he got on Xbox with.
Yeah, I think he's just like his Xbox group chat.
Yeah, can you imagine being a third party in this game, like where like just getting squatting up with these guys at random, and then they're sharing like trading secrets, and you're just sitting there like, what the hell is happening right now? It says Viggiano worked for both Goldman Sachs and Blackstone and is accused of using encrypted Xbox audio chats. It says, although the encryption status of these chats remains unclear, while Microsoft's terms of service state that Xbox chats are not recorded by default, they can be recorded and reported in cases of inappropriate behavior. But I don't understand if they can be like retroactively recorded. Like now that they know, oh, well, this dude, Viggiano, was using our service to do insider trading, can the government like subpoena Xbox to go back and find his chats? Because that would be terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends if they're saved or not. Like if like you can still like go back, but they probably got deleted or something, I would imagine.
That's what I think the general public's understanding was, that those weren't saved.
Yeah.
And now there's some questions around this. It says this case raises concerns about the privacy and security of Xbox chats, especially since many underage users utilize the platform. Yeah. So
it makes me think that the guy that got caught first kind of set him up. He was like went on Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you got any more insider trading for me?
Got any more hot insider trading tips?
Yeah. And so then they like told the feds and Xbox like, hey, we need this. That's probably how it went down, which is sad. Freaking
rats, dude.
Man.
They're everywhere.
But this is low-key a good move if you're trying to do some shady shit, I feel like.
I know. I'd never thought about this
I
before.
wonder if like drug dealers are using this method.
Yeah.
Because, they got the burners and stuff, but the feds are on them.
Yeah. And the other app this dude was using, like he used the Xbox chat service, but he was also using like Signal, which is one of those like encrypted messaging apps that's, supposed to be untraceable and nothing gets saved on a server or whatever. But all that's not effective if your boy rats you out, which is what occurred here. So
yeah.
I'm still curious to see what comes of this in terms of whether or not they're able to produce actual audio chats or Signal messages that are supposed to be like forever secret.
Yeah. What if he like just says like one like little insider trading tip, and then it's just like him being racist as fuck in the Call of Duty lobby?
It's very likely. Dude, I played the other day. I was playing Apex Legends, and I was live on Twitch, which made it worse. And I got grouped up with two randos, okay? Mm-hmm. And they were from like, I want to say, it wasn't Minnesota, but it was somewhere around there, like Wisconsin, where they have the accents. It was Wisconsin, because I remember telling them like, oh, one of my employees moved to Wisconsin recently. And these guys seem totally normal and nice. We get like 10 minutes into the game. We've been talking the whole time. Nothing inappropriate. And then out of nowhere, into the game, they just start dropping the most racist shit I've ever heard. And I was just like, what is happening? Like multiple N-bombs. It got really ugly really fast. I had to like mute them as quickly as I could because, again, I was live on Twitch streaming, broadcasting this to people who are watching me. Gamers, dude.
God, just the most racist bunch of people out there.
It is seriously the most, like, the internet is a generally toxic place, but if you ever want to experience it like in its purest form of toxicity, you got to hop on like whatever the latest Call of Duty is, or any game. I don't even play those, and I still get exposed to it. It's bad.
Did you get the win though?
No.
Oh.
No, we didn't get the win, which made it infinitely worse. Anyway, good stuff from Insane Headlines of the Day. Having worked on the internet for over a decade now, entirely too much of my personal information is online. For years, I've wished for a way to efficiently delete my data that is being sold by data brokers online. Thankfully, our newest sponsor, Delete Me, does just that. Today's episode is brought to you by Delete Me, a hands-free subscription service that will remove your personal information that's being sold online. You just sign up for an account and submit your personal information for removal from people search websites. Then Delete Me experts find and remove it for you. You'll receive a detailed Delete Me report in 7 days, letting you know all the different data brokers and places your information has been deleted from. Then they follow up and remove your personal information every 3 months to keep you protected. Data brokers create a profile for you, including things like your social security number, your birthday, information about your relatives, past and present addresses, and more. And this is why I signed up for a Delete Me account myself, to ensure me and my family aren't as susceptible to phishing scams and other kinds of attacks. It takes just a few minutes, and what's a few minutes for peace of mind? I received my first Delete Me report less than 24 hours after I signed up and submitted my information, which only took a few minutes again. And I was amazed by just how many places my information was available online. I'm super glad I did it. I feel a lot better knowing Delete Me has my back. Now get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/RBP and use promo code RBP. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/RBP, enter promo code RBP at checkout. That's JOINDELETEME. Joindeleteme.com/RBP, promo code RBP.
Grab your light, this is Stop the Wikipedia when you're high.
Stop the Wikipedia when you're high.
Today's Stuff to Wikipedia When You're High is the result of me getting nothing but Lord of the Rings memes served to me by Instagram's algorithm. The thing you'll want to type into Wikipedia is Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee, otherwise known as Sir Christopher Frank Carandini Lee. He was an English actor and singer in a long career which spanned over 60 years. Christopher Lee often portrayed villains and appeared as Count Dracula in 7 Hammer horror films, ultimately playing the role 9 times.
He does have a Dracula look to him.
Yeah,
for sure.
he is Dracula to me. His other film roles include Francisco Scaramanga in the James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun, which came out in 1974, plus Count Dooku in several Star Wars films between 2002 and 2008, and Saruman in both the Lord of the Rings film trilogy and the Hobbit film trilogy, which obviously came out during the course of the 2000s, between 2001 and 2014. You remember Saruman.
Yeah.
So not Sauron. That's the shirt I have.
Right.
Sauron, the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
He was the big bad.
Yeah.
Saruman
He's
was
the
Gandalf's wizard homie
Yeah.
who turned on him, became a bad guy, and then tried to recruit Gandalf to join Sauron's army. I'm glad we were able to do this quick refresh for everyone.
Yeah. He's got some iconic roles.
He does. Extremely iconic. I watched some weird Johnny Depp movie the other day that I can't remember the name of, but it was about him being Johnny Depp as he was a book detective. I know. I don't know. I don't know how. I was sick in bed and I was just like, whatever. I'll watch this. Anyway, this Christopher Lee was in that movie and he tried to sell his soul to the devil unsuccessfully. Spoiler alert. Nobody needs to watch the film. Whatever the title of it was dog shit. But anyway, he was in a ton of different stuff, and obviously for me and for a lot of people, you either know him best as Saruman or apparently Dracula. It's the other things from his life, though, that make this Wikipedia page insane. And it's very, very long. If you want to go read his Wikipedia page in full, I recommend you do, but I'm not going to do that today. It would take a full hour. Here's just some, random, insane bullet points. And the reason I got exposed to this Wikipedia is I saw an Instagram post that said, you won't believe Christopher Lee's Wikipedia, and then it shared some of these things. And when I was like, there's no way these are all true. So I went and double-checked them on his Wikipedia page, which, as we all know, is the world's encyclopedia. And turns out, these are real things. So first of all, he witnessed the last public execution in France using a guillotine firsthand. He was there.
That's sick.
Yeah, the last one ever. And he was there for it and saw some dude's head get lopped off.
So they're doing this. How old is he?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
But he was there.
That's crazy. So they're doing in like the, I don't know, 30s or 40s?
I don't know. This dude's dead now, so it could have been a while back. I think he died like 2016 or something. It says his mother, so Christopher Lee's mother, married Harcourt George St. Croix Rose, a banker and uncle of Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming is the author of the James Bond novels, and thus he became Lee's step-cousin. And there is like, the rumor is furthered that Christopher Lee was actually the inspiration for James Bond on some level. Which, if you're like, why? Why would he be the inspiration for James Bond? He was Saruman. No, just wait. He almost married Swedish royalty and was even given permission by the King of Sweden to do so. But shortly before the wedding, Christopher Lee ended the engagement because he was concerned that his financial insecurity in his chosen profession of being an actor and singer meant that she deserved better than being pitched into the disheveled world of an actor, apparently is the quote that he used. She understood, and they called the wedding off. And that's a bad feeling. He's like, you're Swedish royalty. This isn't the life you deserve. I'm just a lowly actor. And she was like, you're right.
Right, yeah.
Good call. We shouldn't do this. Sad. When the Second World War broke out in 1939, Christopher Lee had enrolled in a military academy and volunteered to fight for the Finnish army against the Soviet Union during the Winter War. Lee mentioned that during the war, he was attached to Special Forces, but declined to give details. At one point, though, for the final few months of his service, Lee, who spoke fluent French, Italian, and German, among other languages, was seconded to the Central Registry of War Criminals and Security Suspects. Here, he was tasked with helping to track down Nazi war criminals. So this is where some of the James Bond stuff comes into play. The nearly marrying royalty, the military service, the special forces, tracking down Nazi war criminals type, He was a spy at one point, basically.
Yeah.
Also, Christopher Lee met J.R.R. Tolkien once, the guy who wrote the Hobbit books that inspired the movies, obviously, that they're based off of. He was the only person involved in the Lord of the Rings film trilogy to have ever actually met the author, J.R.R. Tolkien, which is just like, again, a crazy bullet point in his crazy life. I'll give you one more. He was also in a heavy metal band at one point, which when you think about it, like his voice is very deep and gravelly and wild. So that kind of makes sense, but like two of the albums they dropped were A Heavy Metal Christmas in 2012. So he was old in a heavy metal band, bro. And then A Heavy Metal Christmas 2, but T-O-O. Punny.
Yeah.
2013. So they dropped that one the next year. So A Heavy Metal Christmas must have been very successful.
Around the holidays, I would imagine.
Yeah. People love that one, Cade.
Yeah.
It's a timeless classic.
It's up there with All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to go read Christopher Lee's full Wikipedia page, make sure you carve out at least 30 to 45 minutes worth of time to do so. But yeah, man, the dude who played Saruman, it turns out, led one hell of a crazy, interesting life, and I had no idea. I had watched some random behind-the-scenes, like, interviews from Lord of the Rings at one point, where I remember Peter Jackson, the director, kind of wink, like, hinting that, like, hey, Christopher Lee is actually super badass. I think it was when he was telling the story about they were doing a scene, and it's actually a deleted scene. It didn't make the final cut of the movie, but for either the second or the third in the original trilogy.
Didn't make the cut when they're like 3 hours long?
It's in that one.
Oh, it's in the
If you watch the
director's cut?
extended director's cut edition, you see the scene where Saruman is on top of his tower after he has lost the Battle of the Two Towers. So this is at the beginning of the third film. The Return of the King. And that little dude, Wormtongue, stabs him in the back. And when they were doing this scene, Christopher Lee told Peter Jackson, no, that's not what it would sound like. Peter Jackson was trying to direct him on what noise to make when he gets stabbed. Mm-hmm. And Christopher Lee was like, that's not the noise that a man makes when he gets stabbed in the back. And Peter Jackson was like, Jesus Christ, that's dark.
Yeah, sounds like he might have stabbed a few
so
Nazis back in the day.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew. Anyway, tight dude, crazy life. Today's episode is also brought to you by Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs makes the most comfortable and versatile shorts, pants, and bathing suits in the entire world. I've been wearing them for several years now. They can't be beaten. You can wear them to do anything, to sleep, do yard work, work out, go swimming, anything, everything. They fit great, they feel great, and they look great. They have tons of designs and colorways, all with funny names like the Art Fart Knockers, Forest Pumps, Zero Dark 30s, Tight Wads, Duffy the Vampire Slayers, Uncle Bucks, Teddy Rubskins. I could go on and on. I have an entire drawer in my dresser filled solely with bird dogs. I've got like over 20 pairs of these things at this point. They're awesome. So if you want to look like money while you're swimming at the pool in these final warm days before fall really sets in, or out at the bars enjoying yourself at night, bird dogs are the move. And their pants are great for the golf course or the office or going out to dinner or hitting the bars. #versatile. They look great. No one will know you're as comfortable as you are because they look like sharp slacks. Very good looking pants. And now they've got great polo shirts as well that are just as comfortable as the shorts and pants. So click on the link in the description below to go to birddogs.com/Bolen and enter code Bolen at checkout, and they'll throw in a free Bird Dogs tech hat like the one you see in front of me if you're watching on YouTube with every order. birddogs.com/Bolen, code Bolen at checkout for that free tech hat with your order. Kade, were you in a fraternity in college?
I was in SIGAP.
What was, was hazing still a thing?
Yeah, but it wasn't
when you were there?
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy though. Like they weren't making us like fuck a goat or something.
Well, no, I don't. I don't think people have been fucking goats since the 80s or something like that. I feel every decade, to my knowledge, hazing has become less and less of a thing in fraternities. It varies school by school, obviously, but most big universities have put the kibosh on extreme hazing.
Right.
And even when in the 80s. It was worse than it was in the 90s. It was worse than it was in the 2000s. And when I was there in 2005, I guess when I was a pledge, we still did some things that were disturbing and deplorable. No goat stuff, but like we had to eat a bunch of terrible things that you should never put into your body. There was not really any they weren't allowed to they weren't hitting us or anything like that, but they would make us do physical.
They just
suffering.
make you hit each other.
We had to do wall sits. We had to do elbows on the ground, stomach off the ground, like
planks
on bottle caps. Yeah, planks. That's what it's called. Thank you. It's what planks on bottle caps or on rocks. There's all different variations of stuff that we still had to do that I know for a fact doesn't even go on anymore. Partially because my chapter doesn't exist because of stuff like this. So I know hazing has been made to be less and less of a thing across the board. Now, it occurred to me there's going to be a new version of it because something will rise there has to be hazing. Fraternities it doesn't make sense. You need a way to induct your new members.
Yeah.
And get guys to prove that
they're worthy.
They're worthy of being there or whatever. So there's got to be something outside of cleaning the house, doing laundry, lame shit.
Yeah.
And it turns out the new iteration of it is absolutely hilarious. And I got exposed to it on TikTok. It's called Pledge Talk. And if you search #Pledge Talk on TikTok, you can see all of this insanity that they're making. It's basically they're getting pledges, so these dudes in Wranglers and boots and blazers, and then making them perform TikTok dances. But they have to take it seriously.
That's pretty funny.
It's great. And there's endless hours of this. These poor kids in little khaki shorts.
Yeah, dude, they all had the same fits on too.
They all got the same outfits. They've all got the same stupid fucking broccoli haircut. And they're doing with full enthusiasm absurd TikTok dances. You can definitely find one where they're doing the bongos dance. I guarantee it.
Where they're scissoring.
Well, I don't know about the scissoring part, but I don't know if you follow Cardi B on Instagram, but her Instagram story is 40 slides a day now, and it's all just different people doing this specific section of the choreography of the bongos dance. It doesn't involve scissoring. Guarantee Pledge Talk is on that. I spent 30 minutes watching these last night, and they're pretty incredible. And frankly, this is the least concerning version of hazing I've ever seen, while also being the most entertaining because it can be shared to the public.
Right, yeah, they can go viral with this.
Yeah.
And clearly they have.
They are. They're going viral. Some of these have 1.6 million views and shit. They're going more viral than we are with our actual content that we make professionally for a living.
Yeah, we're just doing it all wrong.
We need pledges.
Yeah, get some interns, call them pledges.
That's what we need so that we can have some pledge talk go down, because it's really made my Thursday night stumbling upon this and watching all these silly pledges do their silly dances at the behest of the actives in the fraternity. And what better way to make sure you're getting some like nimble, athletic, solid dancers in your frat, you know?
Because that's what they're all looking for.
That's what they're all looking for.
Yeah. But
sharp choreography. It's what's necessary.
Yeah, pretty soon they're going to be like the sororities during Rush Week. They're going to be like doing the whole song and dance.
Dude, I got served some of those videos, and I have been blown away by like how professional. Because back when I was in school, it was like the girls would all get in the doorway and they'd like bounce. There was lots of bouncing.
Yeah.
Like, welcome back to KKG, happy, we, blah, blah, blah. Like that shit.
The one where they like open the doors.
It's the gates of hell, dude. Yeah. It's fucking terrifying. But now they're doing like full-blown choreography dance productions where like the 3 best dancers in the sorority are like up front, like leading it and just fucking crushing these moves. And then all the like, you know, busted girls in the back who can't dance are just like back there kind of like basically doing what Britney Spears does on Instagram every day now.
What? Dancing with knives?
Yeah, but she like marks. It's not really dance moves. She's just like la la la. Like but I saw that Dancing with Knives video. She's been dancing in that same fucking spot for like 5 straight years now.
I mean, maybe it's just really good lighting there.
Clearly, that's part of the equation. But she's got to move around. Let's show us some other area.
Yeah.
That house has to be freaking gigantic.
Yeah, I'm sure you got to pull out there. Just, you know.
Yeah, no, she's got to move around. But anyway, speaking of dancing and entertainment and choreography, Usher was announced as the next Super Bowl halftime show performer. Did that do anything for you?
I didn't hate it, but I wasn't like, oh, fuck yeah, Usher.
Yeah, but do you know like any Usher songs?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I know his other stuff too.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that song always goes.
So I mean, when I was in high school, Usher was like the king of R&B for a while there. Like Confessions and Confessions Part 2, and obviously Yeah was a psychotic club banger for a while. Like everybody was grinding to Yeah, Kade.
Oh, sure.
Just grinding their little dicks and balls off. But I turned on Usher when I found out about the T-Pain stuff. He like bullied T-Pain out of the music industry, basically. So my stance is fuck Usher.
Mm-hmm.
I still think this will be a good halftime show. His catalog is large enough. Apparently, Jay-Z is the one that called him to tell him like, it's your time. You're gonna do the halftime. I can't do a Jay-Z impression, so I won't try. But you're gonna do the halftime show, which is just it's interesting to me. I forgot that Jay-Z made that like he has like the Live Nation deal with the NFL, and I guess he's the guy in charge of like.
It kind of seems like he's been putting together the halftime shows recently.
I mean, we had what?
We had Rihanna last year, and the year
and
before
then before that, it was
Snoop, Eminem,
Dre,
Kendrick,
50.
and 50. Yeah. Now we got Usher.
I guess Dr. Dre was like the headline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we got it's definitely been hip hop heavy, and I enjoy that.
I love that.
Dude, during my childhood, it was like fucking Aerosmith.
And The Who.
And then Britney Spears is going to come out and do a song with the psycho Aerosmith guy with the huge mouth. I didn't enjoy that. The only one that was mildly entertaining to me was the one where Justin Timberlake exposed Janet Jackson's titty. That was
iconic.
It was iconic. And I remember seeing it live and going, titty! And everybody at the Super Bowl party I was at Barrett's house, my co-host on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, and everybody was like, what? I was like, her boob was just out. And they were like, no, it wasn't. I was like, I swear to God. And then it became the biggest story in the world for like a month.
If people just thought you were insane for the next
they
couple
were like,
hours.
This fucking pervert Ross, just imagining titties.
Oh my God, if that like happened like today, that titty would be all over social media.
Oh yeah. It'd be everywhere. It'd be. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see Usher's titty though. So.
Damn.
I don't know. I'm still not an Usher guy. I'm not Team Usher. I'm Team T-Pain. I did see quite like there was a large uprising from the T-Pain fans. They were like, it should have been T-Pain.
Could T-Pain do a halftime show?
No.
I mean, he has some hits, but like.
I don't think it's not the same level of like mainstream success.
Yeah.
It was a different Different angle. Because there were definitely like, here's what I mean. Young people and old people have to jam your shit.
Right.
For you to be like qualified for a Super Bowl halftime performance. Like you got to have a wide ranging audience. Also though, this was kind of a depressing announcement because I was like, God damn it. Because I'm definitely the age that is the biggest chunk of the Super Bowl audience now. It's always a little bit washed. It's not like, it's not Gen Z that they're going after. It's like people that are like in middle age or right before it.
Yeah.
And that's who they aim these halftime performances at. And I'm in that group now.
Yeah. So what you're saying, like in about 15 years, they're gonna like have Playboy Cardi because like that's what all the Gen Z-ers are listening to.
That's what's gonna be interesting, man. Like what the hell is gonna happen 10, 15, 20 years from now? What's the next wave?
You're gonna get Ice Spice
up there doing Munch. Like what is that gonna look like? I really don't know. I wonder, like, since we've talked about Cardi B and bongos so much lately, like I don't think Cardi has enough songs that are clean enough to go and do a halftime show at any point down the line.
No, she can't perform WAP.
No.
That wouldn't go over well.
No, the old whites would lose their minds, dude. They would freak out.
I mean, they might get a little aged up though. I don't know.
Get a little horned up?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good for everybody. That'd be good.
Yeah. See, they should have waited because I feel like they could have capitalized off of Taylor Swift here.
Oh, she'll be up there at some point.
Like, I think she has to be next year.
I really don't know. I feel like she needs to cash that chip later on when she needs it. Like Usher hasn't done shit in many, many years. Like now is the time to go get the bag with the Super Bowl commercial and all your music gets a resurgence and he's dropping a new album in conjunction with it. Like that makes sense. You know, like Dr. Dre's
Hasn't
he's
done
out of the game.
Yeah.
Rihanna hasn't dropped an album in 6 years or 7 years now. She's moved on to like the Fenty clothing line shit. She's like a billionaire at this point. I don't know if she's ever going to drop another album. I hope she does. I love her music, but it's for like late in your career. Taylor Swift is still very much dominating the shit out of the music world just by releasing old fucking albums re-recorded again and doing like the biggest tour in the history of music. And she's dropping the tour in the form of a movie that's projected to do over $100 million at the box office this weekend, while she's also taking over the NFL because she's, you know, pretending to date Travis Kelce for a little while. So she's fine. She doesn't need the Super Bowl right now. The Super Bowl needs her a lot more than she needs them, which is
why I think they might be like, hey, gotta get those viewing numbers up.
That's one of the things about the Super Bowl that's interesting, though. They don't pay you. You don't get shit. They know it's like a mutually beneficial agreement. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to do the show and pull in all these viewers, and then you're going to get a ton of streaming and downloads and hype and, you know, pop back up into the entertainment lexicon or whatever. So I think T Swift will do it one day, but like I don't think it'll be anytime soon. I don't think it'll be in the next 5 years. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
But I bet they beg her. Starting last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've already got her going to the fucking Jets game this weekend, which is...
That sucks. For all the Swifties that are going to tune into that game, you get to watch Zach Wilson just absolutely shit the bed.
That guy's getting destroyed.
And it's not even like, he's not great, but like, he was not expecting to play this year at all.
I think they drafted him like number 2.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so it's mostly about how he has not lived up to his expectations. But even that, it's not like he picked... I should be number 2. You know, they picked him. It's on the Jets, not him. So, anyway, we'll see what happens this weekend with another T Swift wave of mania occurring and all the Swifties trying to figure out what a down is. It's going to be good fun. That will do it for today's show, but please support our sponsors by hitting the links in the description of this episode and using our dedicated codes. That's how we pay the bills here at Bolen Media. You can find links to all of our sponsors for today's episode in the description below. To check out our other shows, go to bolenmedia.com. We've got J-Bone, his F1 program, Formula Bone, which has a preview and a recap for every single F1 race all season long, except he will not have a recap of this weekend's race or a preview for next weekend's race because he's on his honeymoon, Kade. Congratulations to J-Bone for getting married. Check out Formula Bone at youtube.com/@FormulaBone. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, our TV and film podcast, which I've mentioned several times. Check out our most recent episode for some coverage of the end of the writer's strike. Also, Barrett and I's commentary on the latest show we are trying out, Foundation, on Apple TV Plus, which I have thoroughly enjoyed. Oysters, clams, and cockles available wherever you get your RBP. Houston sports fans, check out Banging the Can. Next episode will be next week, and it'll either be a total and utter meltdown because we are missing the playoffs, or a celebration, maybe a two-way celebration, because I have a good feeling about the Texans this weekend as well. We're playing the Steelers.
Oh, that's a winnable game for sure.
We're +3. We can win that thing.
Yeah.
I'm scared of TJ Watt, though. He freaks me out. Anyway, at Banging the Can on all social media. Follow along with my Houston sports takes. Everything else, at WR Bolen on Twitter and Instagram. Kade, where can people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Kade Orris. That's KADEORRIS.
This episode of the Ross Bolen Podcast is presented by Bolen Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the-Ross-Bolen-Podcast for a full video of every episode, plus fun YouTube short clips that come from our episodes as well. We appreciate everybody who's subscribed on YouTube to support the show. It means a lot. We'll be back next week with another public sponsor-based episode like this one, and then again on Friday on patreon.com/Ross-Bolen-Podcast with another ad-free exclusive episode just like we do every week. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Enjoy yourselves. Pray that the government shutdown is avoided so we can all enjoy Fat Bear Week together at the beginning of October. Peace be with you and also with you.